had my first meeting today with the interim advisor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Tawhid Hussain. I think it was a very cordial meeting, very positive first meeting. And obviously we agreed to work very closely in the coming days on the priorities that are set by the new interim government. Key areas of work that we've already agreed to is supporting young people and their voices in Bangladesh, to promote the human rights agenda and the investigation that was agreed by Dr. Yunus yesterday evening. We have a lot of agencies in Bangladesh. There are 15 UN agencies that work across development and humanitarian areas of work, so they will all bring their capacity and their support to the table. We also discussed other priorities such as the economy and what the UN could do to provide support to the economy, and the humanitarian response, the flooding in different parts of the country, as well as a humanitarian response to the Rohingya refugees. So I think it was a very rich conversation. It's obviously the very first meeting, and we'll need to take some time to think through how we can support Dr. Yunus when he goes to the General Assembly and the Summit of the Future later in the year, and a lot of those other areas of work on the environment, preparations for COP this year. So huge portfolio, but I think a very good first meeting.
Do you have a discussion about the fact-finding mission which was sent by UN for the investigation?
So very briefly, because I think Dr. Yunus and the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, had a call yesterday evening, and they've agreed on the fact that there would be a UN-led mission. We have some technical colleagues who are arriving in country next week, and they will do the initial fact-finding. But the mandate, the details, how the team will work with the government, all still need to be agreed and ironed out. So that's what we discussed, that there would be further dialogue and collaboration along those lines.
High Commissioner yesterday mentioned that we will soon dispatch a team for the investigation.
Yes.
So did you touch upon the issues, and what is your initial plan to dispatch the issue?
They've already booked their tickets. They'll be here next week.
Okay.
And so that team will be doing the initial fact-finding and then help with the dialogue to agree on the terms of reference, the framing, the timeline. So I think there's a lot of details that still need to be ironed out. But we're ready to go now that the green light has been given.
Do you have given a chance to finalize the terms of references and...
Not yet. I think it's a work in process. It needs to be iterative because it needs to be in line with what the government has requested. It needs to be also taking into account technical support. And so there's a lot of very complex details that need to be worked through, but that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think it's going to be very fast.